Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health with Sarah Bantam, a busy wife, mom of 3, and an NANP certified supplement professional. But that's not all. I'm also the founder of the now 4th year in a row multi-award winning Accelerated Health products for the most innovative natural supplement company. Super excited and blessed. Thanks to all of you for supporting me. And all of the supplements are scalar enhanced to optimize your health. This podcast is not just a source of information. We are a community. We're all here to learn and grow in our health journeys, regardless of where you are today. The podcast is the springboard to learning, and the group coaching on Telegram, it's free, is where we continue learning together. I answer your questions. I post tips and tools to deepen your health and to keep you moving forward. So here's what you can expect. New episodes every Monday and Wednesday with in-depth health discussions and expert guests, hot topics that are in the news every Friday like this one, and then of course followed up with the free group coaching on Telegram. Have you thought about detoxing? You're a little worried about the symptoms. Are you going to be hangry? Are you going to be put on a liquid diet? Well, I've created over 10 unique, easy detox cleanse programs to help you reset your body while feeling great, eating real food, no liquid diet, and no detox symptoms. So take the detox quiz at Sarah Banta Health to find out which one's right for you, and we will go from there. Maybe you're not ready for a detox. Maybe you just want to start with 1, 2, maybe 3 supplements. Fill out the free supplement protocol form on the website, and I will personally put together a protocol for you. Just by taking a few steps forward with your health, you will change your life. And the difference is I'm here every step of the way. Oh my goodness, we're talking about something very close to my heart. A study reveals that cell phone usage is fueling aggression and hallucinations in teens. There's no denying it. Something is deeply wrong with the mental well-being of today's adolescents. I've got 3 kids, 18, 20, and 22. The conundrum of when do you give your child that cell phone? We didn't know the damage that it was going to be doing. All of their peers had their cell phones before my kids did. Did it affect their socialization and whether they were popular? Probably. But I still gave it to them way too early. And the studies are now coming out. So my goodness, parents, if you're listening and your kids are in elementary school or teenagers, please listen to this message. It's not worth it. What's happening is they are seeing feelings of aggression, anger, and even hallucinations rising at alarming rates among the teenagers because of the age at which the kids first get their cell phones. A report reveals that both in the US and India, these mental health issues are becoming more prevalent as children acquire those smartphones at younger and younger ages because you want to be the cool kid. So if kids last year were getting them in 4th grade, well, I'm going to let my kid get it in 3rd grade, and then they're the ones that are popular, right? I get it. It's all that peer pressure. But we have to stop because our kids are suffering. And researchers are warning that urgent action is needed to prevent a future defined by rising aggression and violence. We're not even just talking about ADHD and depression and anxiety. We're talking about aggression and violence. So they're recommending delaying giving the kids the smartphone at least till they're 13 years old, allowing them to develop critical social skills and emotional resilience. Now, is that too young? Yeah, it is, but we have to be realistic. The study surveyed over 10,000 teenagers ages 13 to 17, and it highlights this disturbing trend. The younger a child gets their phone, the worse their mental health outcomes, especially in terms of aggression, anger, irritability, and detachment from reality. Okay, how many times have you said our kids are just not living in the real world? right? So what's happening with today's teens isn't just a normal cycle of adolescents struggling. The study's author points out that previous generations' mental well-being followed a predictable pattern. Both young and old individuals experienced a higher well-being while middle age showed a dip. Okay, so we had this pattern and now the pattern's off the rails and that curve has collapsed. Now, this is not even mentioning the damage from the social media. And we went from Facebook to Instagram and now TikTok. With TikTok, our kids are being flooded with stuff they didn't even ask for. The algorithm's giving them things that they didn't even ask for. And that was not the case with Facebook and even Instagram. So things have gotten so much worse. So teens aged 13 to 17 fare worse than the young adults 18 to 24. The 18 to 24s are worse than the adults 25 to 34. So this downward trend continues with each younger age group. And this is especially severe among girls. A shocking 65% of teenage girls surveyed reported significant emotional distress that impairs their ability to function. 65%, people. Our poor girls have enough going on. Body image issues, all of the regular stuff that we dealt with without these cell phones. So one of the most disturbing findings in the study is the rising sense of detachment from reality. Nearly half of the 13 to 17-year-olds report feeling disassociated from their surroundings. What else? Over half of the teens said that feeling of sadness, guilt, anxiety were interfering with their daily lives. Nearly 50% said they struggled with debilitating, unwanted, strange thoughts. 37% reported having suicidal thoughts. We're blaming the suicidal thoughts on the pandemic. No, it's the cell phones. Yes, during the pandemic, they were on their cell phones a lot more. Are you letting your child be on their cell phone until 2 a.m, which is disrupting their sleep, which is also contributing to the mental health issues, the attention issues in school, and all of the other stuff? And God knows what they're eating in the middle of the night when you're happily sleeping in bed. One thing that I've noticed is parents are afraid of their children. Nip this in the bud early on. I am a mom of 3. And the one thing that I would tell new parents, I think that I did right, was I nipped it in the bud early to let them know that I was not their best friend. I was their parent, right? And I'm not an authoritarian parent, but if I gave them a look, even in their teenage years, they knew not to mess with me. And all it took was a look, because I had established when they were younger that I was in charge. Now, you do that in a very loving way, and that's a whole nother podcast. But my point is, this translates into restricting their phones, putting guardrails on it, time. How much time are they on? Are they performing in school? Are they performing in sports? Are they being active? Are they getting outside time? Okay, then you've earned your cell phone time. Okay, so this is the other thing. 13-year-olds reported significantly higher rates of aggression, hallucinations, and irritability, more so than the older teens. This suggested that issues are escalating in the younger age groups and the mental health decline is happening earlier than ever before. This is particularly pronounced in those girls. The girls that are suffering the most, they are also angry and more aggressive. That's supposed to be a boy behavior, right? Early smartphone use is directly linked to rising aggression. And guess what? Maybe that's why you're afraid of your child, because they're aggressive towards you. There's a way to stop this. You're in control. Who pays for that cell phone bill, right? I mean, my 22-year-old, I still pay for his cell phone bill. But if he starts getting off the rails, I'll just say, okay, that's fine. You can start paying for your health insurance and your cell phone bill, your electricity bill, and the conversation gets really quiet. You have to You have to get them where it's important, right? And this is not about pounding down and being an overbearing parent. I would hope that all three of my kids would say I'm a very loving parent and do all the right things, because you balance it with the love and the fun and the joy. But this is something that's a non-negotiable. I wish I knew back then what I know now about cell phones. So this means the study means that getting a smartphone at a younger age is likely to increase that aggression, anger, and irritability over time. So currently, the 17-year-olds in the study typically got their first cell phone at age 11 or 12. The 13-year-olds got theirs even younger at age 10. Age 10. We haven't even gone through puberty yet. So why would this contribute to mental health decline? Well, they admit they don't know exactly. They're being exposed to inappropriate content. Like I said, TikTok has taken it to another level. My 22-year-old is not allowed to have TikTok on his cell phone if I'm paying for the phone. Now, China's part of that issue, but also the amount of stuff that's coming through that they didn't even ask for. The gambling, the porn, all of those inappropriate things. At least in Instagram and Facebook, you're somewhat in control. But then you have the social isolation. Smartphones pull kids away from in-person interactions with their friends, family, and community. How often do you see your kids? Family dinner is a non-negotiable in our house. I have friends that say, how do you get your kids to the dinner table? I say, well, they want to eat. They have to sit at the table. They have pocket money that they can go spend on other food, but I don't pay for them to go out to dinner with their friends, unless it's a treat or something special. But it is an absolute. If they're in the house during summertime, whatever, I have dinner and they are there. And that bonding, no cell phones are allowed at the dinner table, and we have real conversation. Disrupted sleep. Like I said, most kids are gaming or on their cell phones late into the night. Not only is that interfering with their health sleep patterns, but it's rattling their DNA in their brain. So your brain is trying to get to that same frequency as the cell phone, and it can't. This is why it causes cancer and so many other things. So that is a whole nother layer of the damage it's doing. And when kids are glued to their screens, they miss out on those critical opportunities to learn social skills, resolve conflicts, navigate emotions in a healthy way. It was a non-negotiable that all three of my kids were going to be in sports. The one saving grace during the pandemic was they were able to be in their sport, which is rowing, on the water, in nature, in the sun, and off their phones. Because when you're doing a sport, when you're on the court, you can't be on your cell phone. And then you come home from practice and you have to be at the dinner table, you can't be on your cell phone. So it constantly limits it. And so then maybe they'll have snacks of their time on their cell phone, and it's a little bit more healthy. So is wireless radiation part of the issue? Yes. Screen exposure and content consumption, that exposure to radiation is, like I said, rattling the brain. They have looked at the biological effects of radiation emitted by cell phones. This cell phone, I don't know, I think it's a iPhone 15, whatever it is. I feel it. I feel it if I'm on it too long. My vision will go blurry. I'll start getting a headache. But the studies have not been done on these massive computers that we're holding onto every single day. The studies were done and based off of the 1999 cell phones. We don't even know the damage we're doing to our bodies. Okay, so the radio frequency from cell phones can impair memory capacity, alter brain cell function in children's, teens, and us. I don't care how old you are. In a 2015 study, it showed that radiation negatively impacts learning and spatial memory. Okay, so what can you do? Set boundaries, limit the screen time, take the power back in your family. You are the parent. You don't have to yell. You don't have to fight. You don't have to argue. All you have to do is stop paying for the phone bill if they decide to act up or argue. It's easy. Okay. The money, whatever is driving them, if it's their sport, or if it's their time with their friends, whatever it is, you're in control. And remember that. Do not be afraid of your children. You have the power. Encourage those real world socializations. So the sports, the clubs, maybe your child is not an athlete. I don't care if your child's not an athlete. Put them in PE. Tell them, hey, I'll go for a jog with you every day. Or why don't you come to the gym with me? You don't have to be in a competitive sport. Move the body. Exercise is the best way to increase mental health, and it's free. Okay. Monitor the online activity. Stay involved in what your child is consuming. There's a way to see what they're seeing, to read their text, whatever you have to do, depending on the trust level in your household. And you can also use radiation blocking tools, airplane mode, wired headphones. The phone is put in the kitchen at night. That's not allowed in their bedroom after 8 o'clock, whatever you have to do. And lead by example. Don't be the parent that's on their phone at the restaurant or at the dinner table or sitting in the couch. When my child comes home from practice, I've already been on the phone for maybe an hour, checking texts, emails, what have you. When she walks in the house, I want her to know that she is number one in my life. I want her to know that I'm focused on her. I want to hear about her day, create an open space for her to open up and confide in me. I want to be that person. And I want her to be able to share her ups and her downs and her challenges, and me be that person. How amazing is that? Because next year, that child's going to be out of the house at college. I want her to pick up the phone when she's in trouble, and I want it to be me, right? I want her to have her friend group. I want her to see mom as a safe space, not as an opposition. So you want to lead by example. And believe me, my kids have called me out on it. So I say all of this, but it's also a reminder to myself. Now we're talking about mental health, and you got to navigate the cell phones. That's one thing. But mental health is at an all-time high already. And I've talked to a lot of my children's friends. They're all on medication, whether it's ADHD, anxiety, depression. And there are some natural tools. I have family members. I have teenagers who come to me and they start these supplements and they go, oh my gosh, Sarah, I'm so happy. The brain fog's lifted. I don't feel so isolated anymore. I actually want to come out and be social. It's actually fun to connect to people instead of being on my cell phone. So those supplements, we're going to go through just a couple. Acceleradine iodine, accelerated cognoblast, accelerated methylene blue. They all work synergistically to detoxify the brain, support the cognitive function, enhance mood. And guess what? When you have enhanced mood and you're feeling good, do you think that anger and aggression might come down? Yes. So first is acceleradine iodine. This is clearing out the toxins of the brain, boosting the brain function, and it's also helping detox the radiation out of your body. Iodine is needed for detoxification of that radiation. After Fukushima and after Chernobyl, they used iodine to detox the body and protect themselves from radiation. So our cell phones are bad, but they're not as bad as being exposed to Fukushima, right? So it helps detoxify the body of the fluoride, bromine, chlorine, heavy metals, which block cognitive function, make you feel crazy actually in the brain. It supports the thyroid function. So most people are suffering from suboptimal thyroid, and the number one cause of depression is low thyroid. Guess what loves to attack the thyroid? Radiation loves to attack the thyroid, and it will downregulate your metabolism, your fat burning, and your mental health. You can't have that circulation to the brain if you are low thyroid. So it helps regulate the metabolism, energy, mood, all of those things. When you don't have enough, you have fatigue, brain fog, and anxiety, whether you're a teenager or 49 or 60, man or woman. Iodine deficiency is the number one cause of depression. Let me say that again. Iodine deficiency is the number one cause of depression. That is where we are missing the boat. So iodine is no longer in our diets, especially our children's diet, which is 70% standard American processed foods that's stealing the nutrients from your diet. So not only is it not giving you iodine, it's taking any of those minerals like iodine out of your body, causing leaky gut. So you're not assimilating the nutrients that you are getting from your diet. Iodine increases dopamine and serotonin. It helps with mood, motivation, mental clarity. It increases that cellular energy. So here's the cell. You've got the ATP in the mitochondria, and it increases that ATP. So your kids have energy. Guess what? When they want to do something, they have energy, right? If they're going to be on the couch gaming or on their cell phones, they're probably lacking in energy. But when you're bursting with energy, you want to go outside and play. You want to do that sport. You want to go see your friends in person. Imagine that. So it is really important for that cellular energy, and we are only as healthy as our mitochondria within the cells. It also supports that cell membrane to get the toxins out, like the radiation and the nutrients from our food, into the cells. And it also is helping with detoxing the processed foods toxins and the environmental stressors out of the body, helping with that brain fog, the mental health. And the acceleridine iodine is the only iodine that is in monoatomic form, which means it gets absorbed throughout the whole body, close to 100%. You want to start with 3 drops 3 times a day and increase to 25 drops 3 times a day. Why is iodine more important for our teenagers than any other population besides pregnant women? Because the body goes through so much change and apoptosis. That is the turnover of the healthy cells and getting rid of the disease cells. Iodine helps with apoptosis more than any other mineral or supplement. So it is more important for our teenagers to be taking it than us, even though it's extremely important for us as well. Okay, so acceleridine iodine. Number 2, accelerated cognoblast. This helps with focus, difficult learning, emotional dysregulation. So I've had feedback from young family members that have been on Ritalin or Adderall. They've switched to the accelerated cognoblast, and they say, you know what I've noticed is it gives me that when I take it like midday, it gives me that brain power that lasts till 5:30. And I'm zeroed in, I'm focused, I'm able to do my work. But it also boosts mood. It helps with increasing that brain-derived neurotropic factor, and it helps with oxidative stress, hormonal imbalances. It increases that brain plasticity, learning ability, memory retention, and it fuels the dopamine, acetylcholine, serotonin. So not only are you going to feel better, and less aggressive, but you're also going to be able to focus in school, and it protects the brain from decline and dementia and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's as we get older. So unlike the drugs or the prescriptions that have negative side effects, cause leaky gut, they're hard on your liver, the accelerated cognoblast is actually preventing decline and helping give the brain the nutrients it needs for longevity. I love this supplement. Young or old, I've had the elderly start taking it if they've been diagnosed with Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, and they keep ordering. And then I've got the young population using it as well. Your brain is on fire. I literally type faster when I have taken my Cognoblast. Okay, so guess what else you're going to do when you start feeling more there in your brain, you're probably going to want to go do things with people and get off your cell phone. So there's this nice vicious cycle, or I should say domino effect of you feel better, you do healthier habits. It's just like when you take supplements for your diet, you end up eating better in response to feeling better. Thirdly is the accelerated methylene blue. Methylene blue has gotten a lot of attention lately. It helps with anxiety, depression, aggression that stem from that poor mitochondrial health. Remember, we're only as healthy as our mitochondria. All three of these supplements help in different ways with that mitochondrial health. But it is also essential for increasing that ATP production, improving focus, memory, and motivation. It helps fight the oxidative stress and inflammation, protecting the brain cells from the toxins, radiation, and neuroinflammation. So the radiation from the cell phone is literally causing the brain to swell and causing inflammation, so it can't work. And that's going to help with mood swings, irritability. It balances the neurotransmitters. But this is the other thing that is amazing. It devitalizes foreign pathogens like the viruses, the bacteria, and all the stuff that is going on right now. The amount of people sick right now is unheard of. And I did a report on the flu season that is the worst in the last decade. And it's not just COVID. It's flu A, flu B, strep, varicella virus, Epstein-Barr, and all of these things, they're not being helped with the normal prescription protocols that doctors usually give. People are getting sick again, not just once. So what's also great about the methylene blue is it's helping your immune system. So it's going to help those teenagers deal with the aggression, mood swings, anxiety, and even the suicidal thoughts. What I love about the accelerated methylene blue, we use John Ellis distilled water, which on its own devitalizes foreign pathogens. And then we put it through the grander water system, which gives it life force, energy, chi, to make it even more effective. So these three supplements, accelerated iodine, accelerated cognoblast, accelerated methylene blue, they detoxify the brain from the environmental toxins, including radiation, improve neurotransmitter function, help with that acetylcholine, dopamine, serotonin, and the feel-good hormones, reduce oxidative stress and neuroinflammation, improve cellular energy production. So we want to also get our teenagers off the monster drinks and the energy drinks that are putting so many kids into the hospital. You're going to get your energy from your cells. And with that, you're going to get your kids back. Wouldn't it be amazing to have a great, close relationship with your teenagers? Wouldn't it be? All three of my kids are my best friends. There's mutual respect. They are my best friends. I've raised people I like. Isn't that an amazing thought? Not being afraid of your child, giving them boundaries. They want those boundaries because with those boundaries, they feel safe. It's not what you're thinking. Do not be afraid of your child. They need you to set boundaries. So obviously, I'm super passionate about this topic. I hope it triggered some thoughts. Please leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts as well. And thanks for listening. Our discussion does not have to stop here. And if you're feeling lost in the supplement world, if it's pertaining to this or something else, you can always reach out to me and get your free supplement protocol. Head to sarahbantahealth.com, complete the form, and I will personally put together a protocol for you. Follow me on social media at Accelerated Health Products and join the free group coaching. You will be supported by other parents. You will be supported by like-minded people to keep you moving forward, and I will answer your questions there. The link's at sarahbantahealth.com. You can find this podcast and all of my podcasts at Accelerated Health with Sarah Banta on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, E360, iHeartRadio, and over 100 different platforms. Share this podcast. More than ever, this message needs to be spread to all of your mom friends out there who have teenagers and even the younger generation, the elementary school kids. That's when you nip it in the bud. That's when you set the precedence for what's to come, right? So share this with your mom friends. And you can use coupon podcast10 to get 10% off site-wide. Remember, I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so join me next time for more ways to unlock your health potential.